but I was thinking when you asked the question about, how do you create a culture of welcome? What came to my mind, and this is a little off track, so we can stop here. But I thought about how culture changes, and culture changes in churches. And culture has changed in every church represented here. I mean, unless your church is like 6 weeks old. Um, and I was thinking a little bit about the New Testament and the whole idea of food sacrificed to idols, which was a huge cultural issue. Which how many people preach about, don't eat food sacrificed to idols? Um, but if you look at that cultural issue throughout the course of the New Testament, so in the Galilean countryside in 30 AD, Jesus declares all foods clean. Okay. But then you've got the council in Jerusalem 15 years later, 48 AD, something like that, saying, don't eat food sacrificed to idols. That food is not clean. And then 10 years later in the 50s, you've got Corinthians and Romans, right? First Corinthians 8 through 10 and Romans 14 and 15 saying, actually, all food's clean. And then if you push ahead into the book of Revelation, chapter two, mostly chapter three, the church in Thyatira and Pergamum, right, in what's now Turkey in the 80s or maybe early 90s, Jesus is saying some food's unclean again. Like issues shift throughout geography and culture, and they shift in our church. And so how we handle these things is going to be a little bit different 10 years from now.
Yep.
And so can we hold that humility and like what Sherry's saying, keep it centered on Jesus, building the relationship, recognizing that culture is going to shift a lot of the other stuff.